Good morning, lovelies. So this is part two. Well, I should say good morning. How are you? What's all up? What's up with you? What you doing? Is there anything new and exciting going on in your world? This video is the first part in me making a 1940s bolero style suit. It is inspired by not the actual pattern because this is a reprint pattern, not a vintage pattern. Anyway, this is making the blouse. I got this cotton at Joann's. They just got a whole bunch of poplins in, and I picked this like dusky sagey green. I'm not sure of the color on me. You'll have to let me know at the end of the video. But anyway, this pattern is Simplicity's 8462, and it is a button-down blouse in the back, and I can do all the buttons except the button, which is one of the reasons I'm not sure about this blouse. But I wanted to try it, so I have tried it. I kind of like the shape of it. I am not sure of the buttons down the back or the color of it, so I may end up reusing this fabric in like a quilt or something. But yes, this is a relatively easy pattern to follow. It does run kind of small in the waist, but that is okay. I hope you all enjoy watching it. I will talk to you throughout the video, but you will see me at the end in the blouse. So feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think of it. I will see you all next time. Bye. Okay, so I am making this blouse while I am trying to, well, at least cutting this out while I'm trying to dye the fabric. So if you see me like disappear real quick, it's because I am checking on the fabric. But to start off with, I'm just cutting out each of these pieces. And there are 3 pieces. There is the front of the blouse, 2 back pieces because this is a button back, and then there is the neck placket, which is basically a piece of this fabric cut on the 45. This allows the neckline to have some give, as well as finishing that edge because the whole thing is just basically a bias tape. Oh, so here I am I'm cutting it out. This is 100% cotton. It's a cotton poplin from Joann's. I'm not sure about this shade on me. It's a really pretty shade, but I think it might be a little too, I'm not sure about it. I'm just not. I'm like trying to talk myself into liking it, and I'm not sure I do. I do like the basic design of this. I like that it's got tucks and it's got a little bit of ease to it. So here I am just getting ready to cut out the piece. And I'm trying to line it up with the grain because when you're doing something on the bias, you really need to make sure that it's, on the bias. So I even pulled out my small ruler, and then I'm just pinning it, and then I'll use, I think, my circular cutter, my rotary cutter, to cut this out. And I'm just being a little bit extra careful and trying to make sure that it lines up well. Oh, once I do that, I need to mark the front of the blouse, both the tucks, which are at the waistline, which do make it really easy to alter, because if you need to let it out, you just, let it out a little bit and then open it up a little. As well as, I believe there is 1 dart at the front. There is also these pin tucks at the front, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. They are rather large. They're not exactly pin length. They're like ½ an inch each. Once you've got that, you press them flat, then press them open, and then you baste along the top here I am just trying to open it up, which is what I'm doing there. And then I just line that center crease up with these stitching I've done. And then once I've got all 3 of those open, I will baste along the top edge about 1/4 of an inch in so that it will lay flat. Well, flattish. But it'll stay where it's supposed to stay and won't shift around too much. Once I've got that done, which really doesn't take too long, I will then go through and I'm trying to remember. That's when I think I did the tucks and the darts. Once I had that front embellishment done. I will say I like this fabric type, and they do have a white and a dark blue, so I may try to do that for a couple blouses, at least while they've got it, because it tends to go away fast, even though I like the just plain colors. Makes it a lot easier to match things when you've got just plain colors. But here I am doing a front tuck at the waist, and then you'll do the same on the other side. And then, yeah, there is a bust dart. So, but the majority of this blouse is done through tucks instead of darts. So you only have 2 darts as opposed to if you're doing like a 1950s bodice, it's 2 bust darts, 2 waist darts, and then 2 back darts, sometimes 2 more. So it can be up to 8 darts on certain bodices. Or more if they split them between 3, which I have seen. I have not done, but I have seen those, and they did not look fun to me. They looked like it would be a pain in the patootie to do and make you end up wanting to rip your hair out at the end. But yes, here I am just connecting the dots, basically, because I put the markings on the wrong side. So now I am just being a little bit oops and redoing it and retrying. Yes, I do the majority of my sewing in pajamas because they are comfortable, and when I don't have to be, I like to be comfortable. When I don't have to be fully dressed, I just wear pajamas or t-shirts or skirts because I like to be comfortable and I like to not be too much of a fusspot. When I go out though, I like to look nice. You know, when people who aren't on the internet will see me. But here I've got the tucks done and pressed. So now I've just sewn the edge of the placket, and that will just get turned in. I sewed 1/4 of an inch on the bottom, so that'll just get turned and poked out, and then I will press that to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. I have finished the edge along that placket. And once that is done, I will then take it over and match the shoulders and the side seams. And then I will do a narrow hem along the bottom, as well as the armholes. Because that isn't done with bias, that's just done with a narrow seam. So how I do that is I sew 1/4 of an inch away from the edge, and then I turn it in, press, and then turn it in again and press, and then I've taken a liking to hand sewing it, but you can do it on the machine. When you hand sew it, then you don't have to worry too much if it's like just worn over a pair of pants or a pair of shorts or just untucked. It'll always look nice. When you do a machine hem, you kind of have to tuck it in because machine hems don't always look the nicest. But that's my personal opinion. I'm sure you've got your own. It is what it is. So yeah, I'm just matching up the shoulders. Also, that is a quarter, 5/8 of an inch. Press it open. All will be good. You can sew this with French seams, but I didn't want to. I had enough to worry about. Now I am matching up the points. With this being on the bias, you do want to pay attention to how it sits because it will pull. You want it to kind of pull, but you just have to be careful while finagling this to remember to mark everything so that when you're pulling it into shape, that it doesn't pull out of too much of the shape, if that makes sense. Basically, you don't want it to warp so much that you can't use it. Now, here is also where I made a mistake. Once I'd sewn this, I decided, oh, I'll just follow the instructions and machine stitch this down instead of following my gut instinct, which is turn it so that everything is laying nice and then hand sew it down. I wish I'd done that, and I probably at some point will unpick this interior seam and hand sew it because it does not look great with the machine. I am not good at top stitching. I'll put it that way. I prefer to hand sew it when I have to, or when I can, because it turns out nicer, at least in my point of view. Once that's done, you will mark the buttonhole placement and do your buttonholes. You could do this step after you've before you attach at the shoulders, because this is a back opening, but I left this to last because I kind of hate cutting open the buttonholes. That's just not one of my favorite things to do, so I procrastinated it. Just like doing the audio for this video. I've had this video edited for like 2 weeks, and I've just been putting off doing the voiceover for it because it is one of my least favorite parts, and procrastination for the win. So here I am, I think I am folding it over. Yep, I'm folding it over and pinning it. And here's where I should have just taken it over to the couch, put on a podcast or a true crime show and hand stitched it, and it would have looked so much nicer and just given it a nice finish. And then you do the buttonholes, and then you sew on the buttons, and then you are done. At this point, I've done the hem, I have done everything else. So once you've done that, then the blouse is ready to wear. I will say when you're trying to put this on that the back buttons are kind of a pain in the patootie because there's always one button you just can't reach, and if you don't have someone who's up and awake when you're trying to get dressed that can help you, not always the best. So when you do see this, I have one button that I point out that I could not reach for the life of me. It's like right in between my shoulder blades. So if I ever do wear this out, then I will have to have someone help me with the last button. I do like the all-in-one sleeve. I'm not sure about the neckline. I think it might be a little bit too high for me because I don't like things too tight around my neck. But here is the blouse. Oh, I may have had to, but overall, it's not a bad pattern. It does fit. It does, I just realized I'd had my headphones on, but it does fit. It's relatively simple, but yes, I just could not button it all the way. Even yanking it up like I did to do the top 2 buttons, it just would not do up. Oh, yep, 2 buttons right in the middle of my back. So I'll have to have someone else help me with it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time.